Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to focus on the Zabu and Silver Surfer nerf. And yeah, we're just going to be looking at a deck that is absolutely still smashing. It's still crazy as hell, but you will need some other cards, some other archetype cards that are going to, you know, help Silver Surfer and Zabu out. But it's still very viable, still very good. But you know, it did get a nerf. It actually wasn't rolled out with a patch, which we kind of expected with the newest, but it didn't. They just changed it, and it just worked for some reason. And I don't know why they did it. Probably because they didn't want to roll back everything if the in case it messes with the patch or something. So I believe that was the reason why they changed it, not at the same time as the patch rolled out. And as you can see now, it actually gained some power, and it has an on-reveal effect that is going to you know, give your other 3 cost cards +2 power. Before it was +3 power. So if you had like 4 cards at a location, that was like 12 power extra. Like if you had Brood and I don't know, some other 3 cost card in there, Maximus or whatever, then you would have had +3 on each card. 3, 6, 9, 12. That's what we would have had more on that location. Now it changed to, it gives your 3 cost cards +2 power, so it would be about 2, 4, 6, 8. Plus himself with his 2 power cost, it will be up to 10. So that is still pretty good. It's obviously not as good as it was before, but it's still pretty viable. It's still pretty good. You can still make Silver Surfer work, so the nerf hasn't necessarily affected the gameplay like crazy much. It's still very good, and if you use the deck that I'm about to show you, then you will definitely know what is up and what is popping. So after the nerf, I think Silver Surfer is still alright. It's not, of course, it's not as overpowered. Sorry, I woke up just a few minutes ago. Anyways, yeah, so Silver Surfer seems still pretty good, still pretty strong. I've been winning games with it because we got ranked reset, right? Because the new season, I got back up to almost level, I think, what is it, 40 that I'm back in again or something like that? I don't know, I'm not sure. Let me see. Yeah, 37, and that was just with this deck. So that deck is actually pretty viable. It's really good. Now let's talk about Zabu. Let me find it real quick. Let me go into my Wongers deck, which I'm going to show you in a second. Where's my Zabu? Where's my Zabu? Where's my boy? There it is. So Zabu has been changed as well. Before he was a 3-2. The ongoing effect was your 4 cards cost 2 less, minimum 1. And now it's changed to a 2-2. So he's you can actually play him on turn 2, which is going to help out Wong tremendously. So that is really good. And yeah, the 4 cost cards are going to cost 1 less instead of 2. So it got cut down almost by 50%, I would say. It was a pretty hard hit on this one. But it was kind of necessary, right? Many people had struggles with Zabu and Silver Surfer in general. They were really overpowered. And now I think they are pretty balanced. They're pretty good, and you can still use them. It's not like that they turned out to be useless. They're not. They're still usable. And like you see, I've gone from 20 something, from I think 19 or 21 or something, to 37 with this deck easily. I haven't struggled yet, and I'm continuing to climb the ladder with this deck as well. And it's a really good deck as well. I'm going to go over this deck in just a second, explain to you what the deck is, what you can do, and how good it is. And in the next video that I'm going to be releasing today, I'm going to be playing with that deck and show you how it's done and, you know, how you play with it. So yeah, Zabu, really strong card still, and you can see it costs 1 less. The 4 cost cards cost 1 less. It's still pretty good, but the only reason why I would actually run this card in this deck is only for Wong. And Wong is literally making, you know, Zabu and Silver Surfer back to what they usually were, you know. So what you can do is you can, because the good thing about Zabu is that you can literally play Zabu on turn 2, which is going to make Wong a turn 3 card. You can also support that with Psylocke. If you have Psylocke instead of Zabu in turn 2, you can still play Wong in turn 3. So it's just really important that you have that in your hand. Of course, what you can also do is, so because that is very predictable, that gameplay, right? Because if somebody has, let's say, I don't know, a Cosmo, something like that, everything that you would lay on the Wong lane would be blocked and everything. So what I sometimes do is I play Zabu, I have Wong on 3, and then on turn 6, I can play Silver Surfer. you know, and Wong. So, well, turn it around, Wong and Silver Surfer, which would give twice the effects out as it did before. So before it was 3 power and now it's 4 power, so it's still very viable if you actually combine Wong with Silver Surfer. So it's actually better than before, but now you just have to use another card that is going to cost you 3 power, right? You can also cut down more from that if you play Sarah on 5. Wong, I think, is going to cost 2 then, right? So Wong is going to cost 2, Silver Surfer is going to cost 2. You know, you have just many different cards that are going to cost 2 as well. You have Brood that's going to cost 2, so you can literally play Wong, Brood, Silver Surfer, and that is just really strong as well. And then, or you can do different plays. You know, this deck is very viable. You have different ways to play this. You can literally play Wong, Ironheart, which is going to play Ironheart twice, and then you're gonna smack a Sarah on it, and maybe play Odin. And do we have anything else in there? You can play something small to it, maybe like a Korg or something, because Korg is going to be free. You can play Psylocke on this as well, but you can also switch up a few things. You know, Korg is not necessary in this deck. You can literally do anything that's gonna help you out a little bit. You can go with you can go with Rocket Raccoon, for example, pretty good. Yeah, you have different options on this one. But anyways, also Electra, you know, on reveal twice, you can destroy 2 random cost 1 cards if you feel like it. You know, it's a good turn 6 as well, by the way. It's a really good turn 6 card. But in general, like, you can still make use of Silver Surfer and Zabu. So like I said, you start off with Korg. I keep Korg until I can play Wong, so I can disrupt it twice instead of just once. Then of course you're kind of hoping for Psylocke and Zabu to, you know, run in. But if you don't, it doesn't really matter. You can still play Wong on 4 or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, it would be better if you had him reduced. You can even play him on turn 3. I mean, there's some crazy plays that you can do with Wong, right? And Odin as well. So you can play Wong turn 3. You can play Ironheart turn 4. You can play Silver Surfer and something else on turn 5. You can play Odin on turn 6, which is going to double everything again what you've done. So this is really strong. It's a really strong combination. This deck is really toxic. It's really annoying. And yeah, because I just drew Wong yesterday, I'm still working on this deck. I'm still working and trying to change a few things around, you know. Maximus is also a very strong turn 6 card, especially, sorry, I don't know why I'm so tired. Maximus is a really strong turn 6 card, especially when you mix it with Silver Surfer on Wong, you know, so that is also very possible. If you've played Sarah or something, then, you know, you're gonna reduce some time here as well. Whatever. There's some strong combinations you can do. Also with Brood, Silver Surfer on turn 6 on Wong, you know, something like that. It's also very powerful, very powerful. Of course, you have Bishop in there as well. Bishop is always a classic card. Now, I'm not sure about Mr. Fantastic, to be honest. I was thinking about replacing Mr. Fantastic, but you know, he's another +3 card. You can exchange Mr. Fantastic, to be honest. I was thinking for another really strong turn, Wolfsbane is a really good +3 card as well, because Wolfsbane initially is going to get a +2 power for each other card you have here. So he's gonna go 2, 4, 6 if you have 3 on that location, and then if you play that on Wong, he's gonna turn into a 12. So basically, this is a 3/12 card. You can turn him into a 3/12 card, which is insane. So he's a good payout as well. So I might be switching that with Mr. Fantastic. But sometimes Mr. Fantastic can actually do you some good work, man. They can sometimes help you out doing things. Also, a nice addition would be Rogue, because if somebody is going to, you know, even Rogue your Wong or do something else, you can steal it back with Rogue. You can also steal other effects, other ongoing effects with Rogue. So if somebody's playing, I don't know, something like Zabu or like a Khazar deck or something, you can literally steal their effects with Rogue. So that's pretty strong as well, pretty good as well. And like I said, in the end you have Odin, where you're just gonna repeat everything that you've done previously. So it's still a really viable deck, strong deck. This deck is this could be meta. This deck could still be meta. It's a really strong deck, and I believe I'm gonna push this at least to 60, 70, this deck. It's really good. You just kind of gotta be good with it. You just kind of have to understand how it works. Of course, there's some expensive cards, and they're hard to get cards, like Wong, like Sarah, like Silver Surfer, like Zabu. These are all cards that are not easy to get, you know. These are cards that now are in Pool 5. I think pull 4 or 5, they're like in there somewhere, so it's not easy to get those cards, but they're really strong, and the deck is absolutely smashing people. So Silver Surfer is possible, and Zabu is still good if you combine it with Wong. Now, without Wong, I'm not so sure about it. I mean, you still have a good payout with Silver Surfer and Brood. Still not bad, so you're gonna have 2, 4, 6, right? 6 plus 2, so 8. So he's gonna be a 3/8 with Silver Surfer, which is going to be okay. You have Ironheart in here that is going to get buffed up as well for 2 points, which is not too good, not too great. Yeah, that is basically it. That's basically what the deck looks like. And this is after the patch. I think it's still viable. You can still do stuff with it. It's just a little bit harder now because your 4-cost cards only cost 1 less. So, let me see. What do we have in 4-cost cards? I mean, let's just not talk about this deck right now, but what else can we do with 4-cost cards? You know, we have negative. Yeah, you could play negative on 3, which is important. You kind of have to really get them on as early as possible. Negative is possible with Zabu. What else? Why? Oh wait, I have to do that. That was a bit stupid. Okay, so yeah, Mr. Negative would benefit from this probably the most, I would assume. You know, Sandman you can play on 3 if you have like some kind of a Sandman play going on. Shang-Chi doesn't really matter because you're gonna play him like almost like always in the last turn, unless you have like somebody that already has like a +9 card on the board. So that doesn't really make much sense. You can lock out the people with Spider-Man, but it doesn't really make sense either. Jubilee would be making sense definitely because you're hoping for like a +6 or something power card to get on the board. That's pretty good. You can play Thing. That's also not too bad. Or Crossbones. You can play this on a location where you're winning, so you can kind of secure a location early on because he's only going to cost 3, so a 3/8 is not bad at all. To be honest, you can play Hellcow in some destruction decks if you want to have Zabu in it. So it makes sense. It makes sense. It's not like it's bad or anything, but you know, the nerf was pretty hard, but I would say they are balanced now. It was a pretty good balancing. I actually thought it was gonna look much worse as it does now, so I think it's fine. Many people haven't even noticed, so yeah, I did. I think some other people did too, but some people didn't, so there you go. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be making a gameplay video in the next video, so make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like. Please also don't be scared of leaving a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.